Do you smoke weed when you frustrated and you ready to whoop somebody? You smoke weed when you sad and you trying to get happy. Or perhaps you smoke weed every day. I used to smoke weed every day. When I first started, I was 15 years old, and I saw people, friends and family, they were getting high, chilling out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I looked at them too, and I said, it looks like it's pretty cool, man. So I'm gonna try it, as well. And so I got high, and it was cool, and I just noticed that I was relaxed and I was chill, you know what I'm saying? And I really did like the feeling. But 22 years later, after smoking weed, I noticed that it was a change, with me. I noticed that I wasn't smoking weed, for the same reason that I started smoking it with. At this time now, I'm smoking it to deal with life's ups and downs. And then I was dealing with something called anxiety. And I didn't even know much about or anything about anxiety at that time. But, I pretty much was just starting to smoke it, basically just to deal with life, to cope. And, something happened to me. I messed around, I had a panic attack one day. I didn't know what that was, you know what I'm saying? My heart started beating, mind started racing, chest started tightening up, I'm breathing all hard and everything, and pretty much, man, I thought I was finna die, you know what I'm saying? Like straight up, but I saw there were people around me, I thought they was watching me, and I'm looking at them, and they looking at me, and I, really wanted to cry for help, but, I really didn't want to do that, because I didn't want people to think I was crazy or nothing like that, I did notice something, though. I noticed when I was high, I ain't have to worry about no panic attacks, anxiety, or nothing like that, so pretty much I made a decision at that point in my life, when I was 15, after I was 15, I said, man, I'm gonna smoke weed, man, for the rest of my life, and that's what I did, I pretty much made a promise to myself to do that. Well, it all worked out at first. Everything was going well, but, as time went by, I began to deal with the anxiety. It started kicking in more and more. It started getting intense. So I just told myself, well, anxiety getting intense. I'm going to smoke more weed too. That's going to fix it. But I just noticed I had to begin to depend on weed more and more and more, and I just pretty much had to smoke it on my way to work, when I woke up in the morning, on my lunch break, shoot, on my way home to work, before dinner, after dinner, before I went to sleep, and then pretty much I would repeat that same process all over again the next day, and at the time I was smoking cigarettes and I was drinking alcohol, so I was just pretty much killing myself slowly but steadily, but as I began to analyze my behavior, when I didn't smoke, I noticed that I was a little sad, or felt like I was a little lonely, or felt like, I was missing out on something, and as well as, I didn't have much energy, like I just wasn't motivated, so I smoked some weed, to deal with all that, and I kept going hard at it, man, and it really was going live, for a while there, but, as time went by, my body began to take a toll, on all the stuff I was doing, So, I pretty much went to the doctor one day. They gave me some bad news, talking about, you drinking too much, you got to stop because, your liver, something going on with your liver. So, I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking, because of my liver. And months prior to that, I had to stop smoking cigarettes, because something was going on with my heart, And so, but, I ain't stopped smoking weed though, So I said, now I'm gonna keep that going, So I pretty much I wasn't ready to quit. So I kept smoking, but, so, as I got a little bit older and everything, I just began to realize that, well, really, I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time, to be honest with you. I had just, basically started looking for God, man. Like, straight up, I just started wondering who God was, who Jesus was, and, it's Bible stuff. Is this stuff real, And I really was lost at that time, But, I began to just start kind of reading more and more stuff, And I wasn't a big reader, so I started looking at audiobooks and things like that to kind of, read to me, I'll just kind of read faster where I wouldn't get sidetracked and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I ran across the book of Enoch. And father-in-law, he basically told me about the book of Enoch. And he was telling me about, how he was the first man, he and Elijah, was the only two people that went to heaven without dying. But Enoch was the first, and I was like, man, but he was, from Ethiopia, from that region over there, and basically he was saying that, the book of Enoch is in his Bible, but it's not in ours over here. So I took it upon myself to, just go ahead and start reading it, and man, after I started reading it, it was pretty much the missing link that I needed in my life to begin to start believing, in God more, to believe in Jesus, because at the time, man, I even stopped believing in Jesus, and Jesus is in the book of Enoch, and that was that missing link that I needed, everybody, got their own thing, what they need, to pretty much bring this thing together and make and understand that, hey, man, this stuff is real, and we're living it, there's heaven, there's a hell, there's a God, there's Jesus, but nonetheless, that's what I needed, to kind of bring some things together, and pretty much the book of Enoch is a audio book on that. You can look on YouTube right now, do a search for it, and you'll find it. And then, when it comes to the Bible, I download the Bible app on my phone, so that way it's able to read to me, when I'm driving, or, when I'm laying in bed, or, when I'm chilling or whatever, And so the more and more I had began to realize that this was a test of my faith. A test of my faith. My faith was being tested. I didn't even have a lot of faith at that time. Jesus said you have faith the size of a mustard seed. You can move a mountain. I guess I even had none. At that time. But nonetheless, though, so at that time, time started going by, and I really wanted to quit by this time. Like, at first, I wasn't even trying to quit. I said I want to quit, but I ain't really want to quit. I just saying that because it sounded good. But I really had begun to desire to quit. I could imagine myself not smoking weed, And, but I knew things were going to change after I stopped smoking weed. I knew that I wasn't going to be hanging around a lot of the same people that I would usually hang around. And, that right there, man, it kind of messed with me because I knew that a lot of the people I was hanging around at the time, we didn't have much in common, We just like to get high and chill, and talk crap, shoot the stuff, or whatever, And then, pretty much we go our own way, But this was something very hard for me to accept because I didn't want things to change with people that I was hanging around, but I knew that it was, and I didn't want to feel lonely, like straight up. Like I said, this is one of the hardest things for me to accept, but nonetheless, I finally, got the courage and said, I'm going to quit, and I'm serious this time. And I made a promise to myself to stop smoking weed for 30 days straight. Now, prior to that, again, like I said, I was doing a whole lot of reading. I had read the book of Matthew, and in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25 through 34, it talks about anxiety, about how, these people, this was Jesus talking on the Sermon on the Mount, when he was talking to people about, how they were anxious about, they were trying to figure out what they were going to eat, what they were going to wear, what they were going to drink, how they were going to live, how they were going to survive, basically, and these were the worries of people, and Jesus was telling everybody that they can depend on God for all that, and if you seek, his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you, but that's hard to kind of understand or even believe, at the time, but, again, it's a test of faith, and that's what I felt like it was happening to me, so I actually wrote that verse down, before I started, on a 30-day journey, and I wrote down a few other ones like Matthew 7:7, ask you shall receive, seek you shall find, and I began to recite these verses every day. They were affirmations for me, basically, and I had begun to read them, on a daily basis, and this right here had gave me the strength, to basically fight, remain strong, when temptation comes along and you get tempted and things like that, speaking of temptation, something, funny happened, is when I noticed that I told people, so I would tell people that, hey, I'm not smoking weed anymore. I noticed people would offer me weed anyway. But when I said, hey, I'm not smoking weed today because I got something to handle, I got, I got to go to work, or I got this, company I'm trying to build, or I got to go help my mama with something, something that basically, not saying that I'm a quit. It's just saying I ain't smoking today. And I notice people will respect that. But if I said I'm finna stop, I'm quitting, then I noticed it's like they were, oh man, don't worry about it, man, just go and smoke a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, woo, woo. And I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying, but, as time went by, so the first week, boom, the first week went by, I noticed that I had got the urge to smoke some weed on that first week there. But, again, I remained scriptured up, and I just, would continue to imagine myself, basically overcoming, the temptation, the urge, and how it would look. And basically, man, just to remain faithful, have faith, pray, and just basically just, something, if it got too bad, then I just go to sleep. But I made it through that first week, and that was tough, for me, because like I said, I was smoking weed every day, man, and so around about the second week, that's when I began to notice that I had the strength to resist, the weed urges and everything. And I, in addition to reading the Bible, I was reading, another audio book. It was called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And this book right here basically goes through a lot of things that, you can do to refresh your mind to basically beat any type of addiction or basically stop being depressed or dealing with anxiety, how you begin to think positive about your situation, so you'll be able to not dwell on things and focus on all the bad things happening to you, and you'll begin to focus on all the good things happening to you, and it's very encouraging, so I highly recommend you guys to read that as well. And I actually did a video on that as well, so we'll see if we can post it up here. Maybe it's going to come up here, in the link here, or I'll post it in the video. But none least, Norman Vincent Peale, the Power of Positive Thinking. So finally, I went through the whole month there of not smoking weed, man, and it felt great. It felt awesome. But like I said, things did change, with the people I was hanging around. Even though I went back around them, just to hang out and everything, but I had the strength, the courage, to just basically be around people smoking, and I wouldn't even try to smoke with them, In most cases, I'll sit around and chop it up with them for a little while, and after that, I got to go do something, because I had already began to do certain things or other things, exercising and reading and watching a documentary, or just doing something, else besides smoking. And so, I began to notice the benefits of it. Whenever I woke up in the morning, I didn't have that negative feeling, of things bad that happened to me the day before and other stuff that could happen to me next week and all that. And then all of a sudden I get anxious about it, and then I'm finna go run and smoke some weed. Nah, I didn't have that urge then, to do that, because usually that's what I do, man. I just go run and smoke me some weed, smoke the anxiety away, and I'm good. I continue my day on. But I didn't feel like I was going to die, if I didn't smoke no weed, or if I was going to go crazy, or somebody was going to piss me off, and I'm going to have to, do them in, whatever, all that, So I was cool, I was like, man, I'm really beginning to deal with life and cope with life ups and downs and anxiety, and not, crumble and not fold in, whenever something, frustrates me, and I got to go smoke some weed now, I started to get over that, And, things, like I said, things changed. I wasn't hanging around the same people. I had began to kind of hang out with different people. The same people I knew, but it was like I was hanging around with the same people I knew, but I was hanging around with them longer and then other people shorter, if that makes sense. So after that, things pretty much got better. Oh yeah, and man, the money part, I had really began to notice another benefit of, stop smoking the weed and the cigarettes and not drinking alcohol and all that. Man, you save so much money. Man, a lot of times we be thinking we need to raise out here. Really, we just need to stop, smoking weed and drinking. Well, that was my problem, you see what I'm saying? And I had stopped doing that, and then that was like an automatic raise for me. So I was then able to save the money and invest it, in the 401k at work and other stuff like that, to where I was able to actually see my money later on down the line, a year later, 2 years later, months later, And it was like, wow, but really above all of that, what I really got to say is that I have finally had begun to build my relationship with God. And that's what I was looking for. Like I said in the beginning, I was searching for God, And I wanted to understand what my purpose was here in life, you know what I mean, here on this earth in life, you know what I mean, what's my purpose, what's my assignment, what am I supposed to do while I'm here, you know, and I was able to, you know, read and you know, listen to the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying, and read scripture and understand what my purpose is in life, you know, and above all of the stuff I said, that was the main thing that was important to me, you know, and so that right there, you know, helped me understand who I am, and then helped me, you know, fulfill my destiny and carry out my purpose in life, you know, and that's what it's all about. So, you know, at this moment, I just encourage everyone to share, you know, any experiences or any thoughts and things like that when it comes to weed and anxiety, you know what I'm saying, and we'll be able to help each other out, you know what I'm saying, in a major way, you know, and as always, you know, don't forget to like and subscribe, you know what I'm saying, to my channel, you know what I mean, that way, you know, if you like this, we'll have more videos on mental health and personal growth. You know, so I thank you guys for watching CTC Lifestyle, where we believe that serving God is a lifestyle and it's not a religion. We are here to help you if you're trying to strengthen or build your relationship with God. We believe that in doing this will help you understand who you are, fulfill your destiny, and carry out your purpose in life. I'll see you at the top. Have a good one.
Hey guys, before you leave, we want to thank you for coming to our channel and checking us out. If you enjoyed that video, please click on this link right here so you'll be able to watch the next video. Thanks a lot and have a blessed day.